Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hey, business owners. Happy Friday. I hope that you are doing well. Side note for you, I've already recorded this episode once. And I didn't like it, so I wanted to re-record it. And it may just be the shortest episode that we've had here because I want to be really succinct for a couple different reasons. And the biggest one being, I think everybody is feeling a little bit burnt out this week. And that can be burnt out because you've been busy with clients. This can be burnt out because you've been busy with a lot of side projects and things with your business, or maybe you're literally burnt out because you've been traveling and hitting up the sun a little too much. But I didn't want to pack too much of a punch in this week because I think we also need to slick it back and scroll it back to basics and getting back to basics of business. And really the title, I want you paid, I want to see you paid, I want you to be a paid travel business owner, has really become one of my biggest missions. You know, when I started this podcast, I wanted to get really great education from both inside and out of the industry that I wasn't seeing. I hadn't been seeing until there was one organization, and then they've kind of dissolved now. But even then, there wasn't a lot of really great education from outside of the industry from experts. You know, last week I brought Alicia Lozano, who's a systems expert from outside of the industry, to bring in her spin on putting systems and processes in place. And so while I still want that to be a focal point, I think I feel even more impassioned that I want to make sure that you get paid. And yes, I talk a lot about marketing, but you cannot get paid without knowing what your numbers are first so that you can create a plan for sales and marketing. Now, technically, do you even need to do that? I mean, I guess not. All you have to do is go out and start talking to people. But this is the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. And with that in mind, yes, there are certain things that you can do, 1, 2, super simple, super easy, get it done. But if we want to be mindful in what we're doing so that it yields us really great results, you have to be strategic about it. And that starts, one, if I was going to tell you what you should be doing in your travel business, and I mean, I can do a consulting session one-on-one with you if you'd like, but if we're going, again, bare bones basics, make sure all your foundational things are taken care of, aka all of your legalities, and then 2, get your butt out to places and meet people. And this doesn't, if you are strapped on time, you maybe work a full-time job, maybe you're a full-time stay-at-home parent, or maybe you're a stay-at-home full-time caregiver for somebody else. Maybe there's just things that are out of your control right now that you cannot physically get out of the house. Then you have to be strategic about how you spend your time online and what you're doing online to meet other people through a digital channel. But that's really, you need to get your foundational stuff in place. You need to start meeting people. Now, even before you start meeting people, so that you can be intentional with the people that you meet, you need the lead generation calculator, which many of you have access to. It's a free tool that I have. You can find it down in the show notes. It will show you what, based on the numbers that you input. So what are all your living expenses, all your personal expenses, and then what are the business expenses that you have? And it will spit out for you after taxes and after fees how much money you need to be making in your travel business. So once you've got that number, then you are able to make a plan on where you're going to be meeting these people at. What products are you going to be selling with them? Because this is not just we're gonna go to the Walmart and we're gonna go to the Target and then we're gonna go to the Macy's. There's all different mindsets from all of those different stores. And the different mindsets will have different priorities on vacations. So if we're talking about keeping it simple, what suppliers do you want to streamline and focus? If you don't feel confident in selling them, then you need to do a little bit more of education. But also, do not let that stop you from getting out there and meeting people. Because you can get out there and network and say, hey, yeah, I'm brand new to the travel industry. Or I'm just a few years new into the travel industry. I'm dipping my toes in. I really like these types of trips and I'm learning more about X, Y, and Z. You don't have to be the be-all, end-all expert just yet, but you do have to talk to other people in your business, whether in person or virtually. Because if we're looking at business being a pyramid, and I don't know if I'm going to use this analogy permanently or not, but on one side of the pyramid, there's people and relationships. The other side of that pyramid, there's profits. You cannot have profits without people. If you don't like people, if you don't like getting to know people, building relationships with people, you are in the wrong business, my friends. So you need to really reevaluate if this is what you want to do in the long haul. On the other side of that also is that you are running a business. This is not a hobby. You are meant to make money in this business. But you need to know how much money you're going to make so those other things kind of fall in line. And you have to have all of those pieces organized. So I'm also saying that because at the very least, if you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I need to do this, I need to do that. I know so many people have been vested in learning different tools and techniques, and people have been vested in working on websites and things like that. And I really want you to reevaluate and what is going to generate you the most income right now. Because even if you have the best website, it still takes time and will take time for Google to pick up on that. I'm not saying you shouldn't focus on it, but if you need revenue in your business right now, you need to be talking to other people right now. You need to be building relationships right now. That is the most important thing. And then when you are starting to talk to these people and getting to know them, you need to keep them in your world. So you need to be strategic of how are you going to do that. I feel like the easiest way to do that is to be like, hey, follow me on social media. If social media is your thing. If social media is not your thing, hey, I do monthly or weekly emails with some travel tips and insight. Would you like me to add you onto the list? Because if you need clients in your business, you're probably not that big enough yet that you can still add in an email address to your list here or there if you don't have all of your automations fully in place. So we have to be methodical about this. I want you meeting people, but once you've met people, how are you going to keep them in your world? Maybe it's not an email list, or no, maybe it is the email list, but maybe you're also doing a coffee chat to get to know them a little bit better in a one-on-one setting because you maybe have met them in a group setting. And the email is how you keep up, how you nurture them past that initial meeting, those initial conversations. Also, I'm going to plug in the networking logbook so that you can keep track of the people that you are interacting with. And are they a warm lead? Are they a cold lead? Have you followed up with them? When was the last time you followed up with them? When should you follow up with them? Are there opportunities for you to collaborate on a project? These are all different ideas that can lead to sales and to you making money in this business. And that's part of why I created the networking logbook, so you could have an easy place all in one for you to be able to track all this information. So you're meeting people virtually or in person. You're inviting them to keep their relationship going outside of there, wherever that might be. And once you're nurturing them, it's kind of like the dating, like, hey, we're friends. This is what I know. I'm an expert at this. I just learned this. I went to this educational conference. That's going to show through wherever you're putting out your content. So if that's through emails, if that's through social media, if that's through coffee chats that you're periodically having with people, those are the things that are going to really stand out and really be like, okay, when I'm ready to book this trip, this is who I want to book this trip with. Or, oh my gosh, I just heard my friend Betsy was just talking about this kind of trip that she wants to do. I need to connect them together. So keeping it simple, I think that's where we can go, because really you got your numbers down, you're meeting the people, you're staying in touch with them. At some point, they're going to convert, so you need to have a discovery call with them. How easy are you making it for a discovery call to be had? And then once you're on the discovery call, are you really showing your value so that it's an instant, like, yes, I want to be working with you. And then once they're working with you, what's that amazing customer experience that you're crafting for them so that they just sing your praises all over to their friends, families, relatives, neighbors, all of that, so that you have more people entering your ecosystem and they are meeting you. And again, they've met you, they're in your ecosystem, they're in your email list, they're following you in your social media. It's that methodical. And that's why I call this process, or this time, the rinse and repeat. So if you are right now distracted by like, oh, I could do this, oh, I could do that. If you don't have enough clients, you need to focus on the rinse and repeat. I promise you, like, this is something that I'm currently in the trenches of, is in the rinse and repeat. And things are going. There's signals that big stuff is happening for me along the way because I'm being consistent, because that's a consistent thing with something that I'm trying in my business right now, is a different way to do rinse and repeat for this certain new thing that I'm testing out in my business. So if you need one-on-one support, I am here for you. I would love to support you in any way in any way that you might need. I do one-on-one 1-hour consultations. You can find the link below. So that is the most direct way to work with me, is through a one-on-one consultation. If you're not yet ready for a one-on-one consultation, then I invite you to join us in Marketing Business School, and that's a lower monthly investment. So depending on what your budget is right now, pick one or the other. You do get pretty good access to me in Marketing Business School, and we have 3 monthly calls, and I will be bringing back something that is beloved called Visibility Bingo. So if you want to know more about Visibility Bingo, shoot me a message, because I would be very happy to dish on what Visibility Bingo is. Other ways that I can help you meeting other people, and that's pretty much why I created 2 starter kits based on social media that is going to help you meet other people. So the first starter kit is the LinkedIn starter kit. And if you haven't used LinkedIn, I have done a couple of sessions before on LinkedIn that you can find through the Travel Institute and on Host Agency Reviews Host Week. And I'm kind of walking you through the process of optimizing your profile, as well as giving you a lot of suggestions for things that you should be posting and all that within this starter kit. The other starter kit is a Reels starter kit that you can repurpose Reels for TikToks and Shorts. But if we're talking about being found on social media, short form vertical video is the way to be found, aka Reels. And my approach is that I take things super simple so that they're easy for you, because if they're not easy for you, you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I give really easy approaches on how to create Reels of your own. Currently, as of today, they are still on beta pricing, but effective August 1st, they are going to go to full price, which is not too much. So if you want to find out more information, just go ahead and go to the show notes to find out all that information. Again, I will caveat this with take what you need and leave what you don't. If you are not interested in growing through social media, you don't need the starter kits. You may need just a one-on-one consult with me to retweak what that marketing matrix is, aka how are you meeting people, how are you nurturing people, what are you doing to convert them and reconnect with them. So I hope this has at least given you a little bit of a straight and narrow. I'm kind of like making that box around my face. Take it super easy this weekend. I will see you next week, and I cannot wait to see you get paid, my travel biz friend. Seriously, like that is what I live for. That is what I dream of. When people say that they can't make the calls on marketing business school because they have client conversations, that is a win. That means that we're doing the right things. So I want you to be having those conversations with potential clients. I am rooting for you. Let's get paid. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.